K Ruggs, the Sober Dog, coming at you with part 4 of Prison Stories. Hey, make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, help me get more Sober Dogs content out there. I'd appreciate it. And hit me up in the comments. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of Sober Dogs content. Good, bad, ugly, in between. Comment, let me know. Let's get right into it. They finally transferred me to that big unit I was supposed to get transferred to 4 days prior. They put me with a bunkie, Streets. Streets gave me permission to use his name in this video, or I don't like putting people's stuff out there unless they, understand that it's going to be out there. Me and Streets were bunkies, and me and Streets got along. We played cards, made cards out of the milk cartons. We got along for a good time. We're both from the same place, and things were going kind of smooth for, as smooth as they can in solitary. It was still miserable, still depressing, but one guard in particular messed with us all the time, and he messed with Streets all the time. Messed with his mail, opened his mail, would throw his mail all over the place. He actually didn't get letters for a while, and then got a bunch of them that you could tell were ripped open and whatever, and it was this specific guard. One night, the guard caught us, he thought he caught us smoking a cigarette, which we actually, were trying to, but we didn't get that far yet. So he comes, gets his buddies. They're not allowed to come in the cell unless you're handcuffed or whatever, but we were, arguing, and no, we're not listening. That's bullshit. We weren't doing anything wrong. You're always hassling us. Streets is, going at him, not physically, just MFing them left and right, going nuts on them. They end up coming in the cell and physically extract him, and the whole time he's busting him about messing with his mail, messing with his property, messing with his stuff, and he was dead right. They were dead wrong for doing all that, and they've been doing it to him for weeks. And they pull him out, they pull me out, they rip our cell apart, took our headphones and ripped them to pieces. So the 2 little stations you're allowed to listen to on the hooked into the wall, we had nothing now. Took our pictures and ripped them up, ripped our Bible up, our mail. They threw a couple pictures we had left in the shower, just destroyed our stuff. They brought both of us to separate places. By the time they brought me back a couple hours later, he was gone and all his property was gone. They put him, I don't know where the hell they put him, but they made sure he was gone and out of there, and we weren't bunkies anymore. So now I'm sitting here, I saw a note that he left when he grabbed his property. Yo, dude, I tried to clean up. He cleaned everything up, which was nice, organized it for me, which was, it was mad cool of him to organize my stuff. Dude, I couldn't take it. I couldn't just let that dude walk all over. I had to, freak out, and he was dead right for doing what he did. Freaking out on that guard for messing with his stuff. And, he's like, I don't know where they'll take me, but try to holler at me whatever cell we're in, because you could holler to people a couple cells down. So that was the last I saw him for a while. Got moved in, with a different bunkie. Another guy that I knew from previously in the prison system. Me and this gentleman, we got along pretty well, so that went kind of smoothly. And he ended up getting transferred out. And it was me and another guy I got put in with from New York City, who he was, a lot younger. He was young for being in prison. He was 18. So, but me and him got along too, no issues. This is my last 60 days now I'm going on in solitary. On the unit I was on, which is there's 12 or 13 cells, all on one side of the wall. There was a guy 6 cells down who had brought a bunch of drugs in with him, who had been trying to get rid of them for a couple weeks, but he was a Spanish guy, and he was trying to tell everyone on the unit, I got stuff if anyone wants it in Spanish. A couple other dudes heard him, but none of them did. He had Suboxone, and none of them did what he had. And the English guys couldn't understand him. Then somebody finally said in English, yo, this dude's got stuff if anyone wants it. None of these guys, that could hear wanted it. I hear this and I perk up. Drugs? Yes. Anything to help with this depression and misery of solitary, I'm in. My bunkie doesn't do drugs, at least not those. He would have smoked weed or whatever, but I'm in. So I holler back down, yes, absolutely. This is where we have to fish. You should probably see it on TV, on shows like Lockup and stuff. Our mattresses used to have these little strings in them, and we'd rip them and rip them and rip them. And then you tie a bunch of, they come out like 5-foot little lengths, and you tie like 20 of them together. So you got, 100 feet of string. And the little string we used to use was like dental floss. It came out of the mattress. If you couldn't get that, use your sheets. So you get that dental floss string, you tie it on a bar of soap, and you toss it out of your cell, and you could get, maybe 20 feet down, and then I would ask the guy that was 2 cells down to help me out. He shoots his out, pulls mine in, and then shoots mine out farther down the unit. So I could go I was in cell 39 at that point. I shoot it out and get to cell 36. 36 helps me out, shoots it down, gets all the way to cell 33. 33 helps me out, shoots it down to 31, where the guy that I'm trying to make this deal has it. So they shoot it down. We finally, me and the dude down there get connected, and we got so much string that now I could just reel in and see his note, and he could do it and send it right back because the string's connected all the way from my cell to his cell now. And the reason the guys in the middle are willing to help out is when they want something or need something, we do the same. You help them out, we help each other out if they want to get to somebody on the other side of my cell. So me and this dude send a note. He says, I got this. No one else wants it. I'm willing to get rid of it for a good price. You want it? Absolutely. I send him some stamps. He sends it back. Boom, I got drugs. He sent me a note 2 days later saying, I want to get rid of this. I don't feel like holding it because I can get in trouble with it. I'll give you a good deal. We make a good deal. I end up getting all of his stuff for very cheap, especially for solitary prices, because drugs in prison are 5 to 10 times the value of the street. So $10 bag of weed that you buy at the corner of the street goes for, anywhere from 40 to like $80 in prison. Solitary, that price doubles again because it's even harder to get in there. I got these for cheap, even cheaper than regular prison prices because he just wanted to get rid of it and I was the only one that was buying. So I got enough to get high for 30, 40 days now. That was essential. And I'm all about recovery, especially with this channel. But at that moment, I'm in somewhere that is so miserable and depressing. I've already tried to commit suicide twice on my previous trip in solitary. Every day is potentially a suicidal day that you're going to just lose it, kill yourself. I did go insane multiple times in there, just talking to the walls, going nuts. The only thing that helps me or I know how to cope is drugs, and I got some now. And it took just a little bit of the edge off to where those last 60 days were okay because I would do them for a couple days, take a couple days off. And I mean, again, I never want to say that, drugs are the answer, drugs help, because every time in my life, with that exception, they have hurt me, except then, and even then it was still, I had to walk on eggshells. I could have got tested again. I could have gotten more trouble, but it just gave me a tiny little bit of something to look forward to, something to keep me a little occupied for a couple minutes each day, in an hour or two. That was how I ended out that trip to solitary, was just getting high, got transferred and went different bunkies again. Some people got along with more, some I didn't. But again, 150 days in solitary for a drug addict using drugs. And yes, the part where I, smuggled the stuff, I got in trouble. I should have been punished because I did get in trouble. But 150 days in solitary for a drug addict using drugs and smuggling drugs, it just doesn't seem to fit for me. It doesn't it doesn't compute. Solitary is so overused and people go insane all day in there. One thing I know for sure is solitary made my addiction and my craving for drugs 10 times worse. Not just when I was in there, the entire time I was still in prison and even when I got out. Solitary is the one thing that has permanently scarred me, messed me up, that I still have flashbacks about, that I still think about. Solitary is way overused.